In this video, we will be discussing American serial killer Theodore Robert Cowell, later known as Ted Bundy. The exact dates he was active is listed as having been between 1974 and 1978. However, investigators believe he killed his first and youngest victim as far back as 1960, when an 8-year-old girl who lived in the same neighborhood as Bundy and knew him well went missing. At the time, he was 14. She was never found. Ted Bundy bludgeoned scores of young women and girls to death, engaging in his own carnal pleasure in various states across the country, beginning in Washington, then spreading like a virus throughout Oregon, California, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and ending in Florida. Although he confessed to a victim count of 30, authorities suspect Ted Bundy in nearly 40-plus other murders. When asked if the 30 women he confessed killing were the only 30 he'd murdered, his vague response was, "Add another digit to that and you'll have it," indicating either he'd murdered more than 100 women or more than 300. By his own design, the exact number of Ted Bundy's victims remains a mystery. The sources of Ted Bundy's hatred for women are well documented. One originated from the disintegration of a romantic relationship he once had with a young woman from an affluent family who ultimately rejected him. Bundy, who was raised middle class, was furious, left with nothing but a torn-up ticket out of a life of mediocrity. In a telling fact, most of Ted Bundy's victims wore their hair the exact same way as this particular ex-girlfriend, long, dark, and parted in the middle. Another source of Bundy's aggravation began when he inadvertently found out that his mother was really his grandmother, and that one of his half-sisters was really his mother. He perceived this withholding of information as a deceptive betrayal. It should be noted that this bizarre family scenario of scandalous secrets also happened to well-known actor Jack Nicholson, who's never harmed a soul. Ted Bundy used his charm, articulation, and good looks to easily approach women. The moment they turned their backs, he would hit them in the head with a crowbar, kidnap, torture, rape, mutilate, murder, then decapitate them, keeping their skulls to indulge in his desire of necrophilia. In the states where he was highly active, he methodically dumped the bodies of his victims on one mountain, then tossed their skulls onto a different mountain altogether once he was done with them. On January 15, 1978, 1 week after he moved to Florida, Ted Bundy stalked and attacked 4 women at a sorority house. This horrific crime that occurred in the middle of the night while they slept is forever known as the Chi Omega murders. One by one, he bashed their heads in with a tree log, killing 2 of them. The 2 survivors were left with lifelong debilitating injuries. Both testified against him in court. Moments after leaving the sorority house, Bundy walked over to an apartment building only a few blocks away and attacked another sleeping college student. He climbed in through a kitchen window, broke her jaw, and severed a nerve that caused permanent hearing loss. She survived the attack. The following month, on February 9th, he kidnapped, tortured, raped, and murdered a 12-year-old girl that he'd lured away from a playground. Her body was found partially mummified in a pig shed 7 weeks later. Her cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma to the head. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the Chi Omega attacks and 1 count first-degree murder and aggravated kidnapping for the murder of his 12-year-old victim. After unsuccessfully representing himself at both trials, he was found guilty on all counts. On July 24, 1979, and again on February 10, 1980, he was sentenced to death. On January 24, 1989, after 10 years of unsuccessful appeals, Ted Bundy, a crafty predator and one of the most dangerous lust killers who ever lived, was electrocuted at the Rayford State Prison in Bradford County, Florida, to applause and cheers from an ecstatic crowd who gathered outside by the hundreds.
Ted Bundy, even in death, stirred hatred. An unprecedented crowd of hundreds started gathering before dawn. It took on a macabre circus-like atmosphere. Is this what you expected to find when you come out here? Folks dancing and singing?
Yeah, why not?
So it ended for Ted Bundy. 10 years, 28 confessions, millions in Florida's legal battle to end his life.
One of the final murders that you committed, of course, was apparently little Kimberly Leach, 12 years of age. I think the public outcry is greater there because an innocent child was taken from a playground. What did you feel after that? Were there the normal emotions 3 days later? Where were you, Ted?
I can't really talk about that right now. That's
It's too painful.
I would like to be able to convey to you what that experience is like, but I can't. I won't be able to talk about that.
Okay.
The victims of this killer were far too young when they were taken. We honor their memory. Until we meet again, I am E of Murder.